The way I look at it is one-on-one coaching is dead and it's a waste of your time. And the reason it is because it's not a scalable thing. You can't expect to get on the phone with coaching clients if you have more than 40 or 50 of them. Right now, I got 1,800 coaching clients amongst my 4 different mastermind groups. I have to have them in a room. So what I did is I created the mastermind environment where we meet up 3 times a year, and each time we meet for 2 days. Day 1 of the mastermind meeting is the teaching day. So I teach what's working in my business. Our top clients in that group teach what's working in their business. And then of course, I'll bring in a industry thought leader, a marketer, a salesperson, someone who's a Facebook traffic buyer, and they'll teach. So we do a lot of teaching on day 1. On day 2, we have the individualized hot seats. At that point, we go through with every single person. We're all sitting in a room. All right, what's your biggest opportunity that you have in your business? What is the biggest bottleneck you have in your business? And what answers you need from this hot seat group to take advantage of the opportunity and to clear the bottleneck? So the reason I have the hot seats on day 2 is because usually they've gotten most of their questions answered on day 1 from the teaching day. And if I do my job right as a coach, I've given them newer, better, more sophisticated problems for day 2. So I want to be able to stir up the most sophisticated problems. I call it third world problems, first world problems. A third world problem is, oh my God, Bedros, I have a personal training studio. It's struggling. I signed a lease for 3 years and I'm already 2 months behind. Like, that's a third world problem, man. You don't get clients, you're behind on your lease, your wife's about to leave you. A first world problem is, now you're on location 3 and you're realizing that location 1 and 2 are kicking butt, but location 3 is struggling. You have a leadership problem there. You don't know how to fire the person because you've never been put in a position to fire a person. See, that's a first world problem. You want that problem. That's a money-making problem. And so my job as a coach is to answer most of their third world problems so that we can answer their first world problems on day 2. We also put them in a private Facebook group, and I do a weekly Facebook Live and then follow it up with Q&A. But everything I do is in a scalable fashion. So if I have the ability, I can scale my masterminds to 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 people. Now people ask me, well, wait a minute, how do you do the hot seats on day 2? Once you get over about 25 clients, you can't do the hot seats anymore by yourself. And so usually by the time you've got to 20, 30 mastermind clients, you've probably been doing this for 6 months to a year, which means you probably have a client or 2 who's already starting to think like you. And the first sign of this for me was, one of my clients, his name is Cable, he came up to me and he goes, dude, when some of these new guys ask questions, he goes, in my head, I answer the question, and then when you answer it, it's the same answer 99% of the time. And I realized that that's a byproduct of environmental exposure, right? If I'm around you a lot, I start thinking like Dan Locke. This is a good thing. I go, listen, I'm having a problem trying to figure out how to create a second hot seat day, how I can be in, do I run 6 masterminds or a year instead of 3? I go, what if we have 1 teaching day, but then on the second day, I run a hot seat day with 25 people, you run a hot seat day. You feel comfortable? Yes. I go, great, I'll pay you $2 grand a month for the months that we do that. So 3 times a year, I pay them $2 grand, my coaches. And so now I have all these coaches who run a hot seat. Like my next mastermind for my 7-figure formula group, because I have 4 groups, is in Las Vegas, and we have 10 rooms running with coaches, 10 coaches, 25 people per room. I've got my hot seat room and the other 9 have theirs. And of course on day 1, it's like a giant seminar where we teach and help solve problems. On day 2, a big hot seat. We take them out to dinner that night and everybody flies off to their own part of the world to dominate.